In this video, I'm going to be talking about this picture of Aurora. Shout out Aurora, by the way. She's a Norwegian singer/songwriter whom I'm going to marry one day. And I'm also going to talk about this first comment here. The second comment isn't important because it doesn't pertain to what I want to talk about. And honestly, I'm not even sure what to make of the third comment. It could be satirical or serious. I can see it going both ways. So, the picture of Aurora is her making a goofy face. The face she's making, I'm sure most of you are aware, is the universal facial gesture that symbolizes blowjob. So it's unarguable that posting a picture of yourself like this online is to a degree sexually degenerate. Although I have to point out that Aurora didn't post this herself. This picture was posted on a fan account, so I'm inclined to believe that this was a picture that was taken of her and posted by someone else. But even if she did post this herself, it wouldn't change anything about what I have to say. Anyways, the question now becomes, how sexually degenerate is this photo? Well, considering how crazy the internet is these days, and the fact that this picture of her isn't explicitly sexual, I have to say that this ranks a 2 out of 10 on the sexual degeneracy scale by my analysis. The male equivalent to this is making a V with your pointer finger and middle finger and sticking your tongue out between them, symbolizing vaginal oral sex. Sorry, I have to breathe for a second. There's all these sweat particles forming on the inside of the mask. I'm in an abandoned house right now, so there's no air conditioning. It's hot as shit. It's in the middle of summer. It's also storming outside. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder. Or I think the storm is like kind of past me now. I haven't heard any thunder for the past like couple minutes, but okay. Symbolizing vaginal oral sex. And to which I would say that this is also a 2 out of 10 on the sexual degeneracy scale. So, considering how innocuous this picture is, why does Neuropocalypse believe that posting pictures like this contributes to the downfall of our civilization? I see 2 reasons. The first being that Neuropocalypse hates sexual degeneracy even in its most innocuous forms, such as this, meaning Neuropocalypse would also have the same opinion of a picture posted by a man making the male equivalent version of this face. If this is the case, fair enough. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, even if their opinion sounds like it's coming from someone whose eyes are glued inseparably from the Bible. However, the second reason, and I think this is more likely, misogyny. Neuropocalypse, let's just assume it's a guy. He's a guy, I guess. My grammar is shit. I typed this like a couple hours ago. So let's just assume Neuropocalypse a guy. He may very well be one of the types who is verbally demeaning towards women on the internet whenever they display confidence in the way they portray themselves. Because let's be real, posting a pic of yourself making the blowjob face is totally harmless. Now, suspending the idea that the first reason is the case, let's operate off the assumption that misogyny is the reason. Where does his misogyny come from? Is Neuropocalypse an evil woman hater? Or is he an ignorant person who lets red pill silly heads such as Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit do his thinking for him? I tend to think the latter. After all, ignorance is the root of every evil. And so I think a larger lesson that can be learned here is that someone who displays misogynistic tendencies/rhetoric isn't necessarily an evil woman hater. A lot of the time, they're just regular people who lack critical thinking skills and who have been indoctrinated into red pill ideology. In this sense, I think it's more fair to pity people who are like this rather than hate them. Although I have reservations against pitying them as well, but I won't get into that. But, to put the point of this video in the simplest way possible, what's perceived as misogyny often doesn't come from a place of hatred so much as it does from a lack of critical thinking skills and red pill indoctrination. There's a moth. I'm getting distracted. I'm almost done, I promise. Or you guys know that. You can see how long the video is. Let me continue. If you disagree, I promise to like your comment so that it appears above all of the comments that agree with me, so that those who disagree get more of a platform. And one last thing I want to mention, just as a side note, is that misogyny sometimes comes out of the mind of a guy with a broken heart. I'm not saying that a broken heart legitimizes misogyny. It doesn't. But I do argue that that perspective should be sympathized with at least a little bit, because it is a truth that sadness can turn into resentment for people who lack self-control. And that's true with everything. And it's also true that most people lack self-control. Stay tuned for Moderate Gas, and peace out.
Yo, guys, if you listen closely, you can hear the thunder. Listen.
Yo, I had to roll the camera one more time because I want to show y'all something. First off, this is where I showed y'all the thunder, and directly behind this is squirrel fur and squirrel guts. Like, everywhere. And if you go into the bathroom here, this is crazy. That's a squirrel tail. Like, how the fuck does that even happen? Someone or something mangled the shit out of a squirrel. Like, when squirrels die, their bodies are typically completely intact, and then they decompose, and that's that. But my theory is that there was probably a squirrel in here that died, and its body was intact upon death, and then some kids came in here looking around this abandoned house, and they fucked with the squirrel body. Maybe they had sex with it. Oh shit, I don't know if I can post this after that joke. Dude, that's immediately where my mind goes when joking about anything is, what's the most extreme way that I can tell the joke? Sex, gore, poop, transgressive things, obscene things, vulgar things, bad things, satanic rituals, all things gross. Yeah, literally all things gross. Dude, that should be my slogan for Moderate Gas. All things gross.